It's humbling to think that Jesus started out with nothing, born not in a palace, but in a stable, just the ordinary son of an ordinary woman and an ordinary man, and God Almighty. Incredibly, the day he was born was only the beginning of Jesus' life. As a young man, he kept a low profile in the wood industry, but when he was about 30, his career took off. He went on to appear in a number of thrilling and controversial paintings, windows and films. Today, Christ lives in the hearts of millions of believers, but still spends Sundays here in his dad's house. So let's go and see if he's in. No one was in, as usual, probably because the church Wi-Fi isn't as good as Starbucks, but standing in this old creaky building gives you a real sense of history. Thanks to Jesus' popularity, Christmas was celebrated for hundreds of years. Celebrated by people who were buried long ago, but are still alive in the form of drawings of themselves, some dating back as far as the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, did they know it was the Middle Ages, or did they just think, this is now? You know, how did they know that they were halfway through time?
They thought this is now, and they thought they're incredibly advanced. This is the greatest moment that society would reach to.
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it, to get a Tudor back that we could resuscitate,
yes,
cryogenically or something.
Yes.
And then show him what had happened since he'd died. It would blow his mind, wouldn't it?
It would. The internet.
The internet. Google.
Cars. Aeroplanes.
Fitbit watches.
Fitbits.
One thing our time traveller would recognise is the tradition of getting drunk and acting up at Christmas, which back then was known as wassailing. So what was wassailing? Is that like a sort of bit like bants now?
What's bants?
Bants, it's like when someone's acting like a prick.
Oh, really? What it is basically a group of people, usually a group of men, go around from house to house with a big bowl of drink, and they knock on your door and they sing songs, and the idea is that you're going to swap a drink from their bowl for a gift.
So it was a bit like trick-or-treating then, was it?
It was very like trick-or-treating.
I mean, what sort of costumes would they do? Because they were already sort of covered in shit, weren't they, with, like, slugs on them and mud and everything.
They didn't usually wear costumes, but it was also a way of creating community cohesion, going from house to house. It was something that was supposed to be fun as well. So that's really the very early beginnings of going from house to house singing carols.